once again. Once again.
Hi friends! friends, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Wednesday evening to you. I hope you are well. I hope you're having a fantastic week so far, and I hope the weather is as beautiful by you as it is here by me. It is in a nice, cool, crisp 60 degrees here today, and it's been absolutely beautiful. I loved it. Of course, that's why I have my long sleeve shirt on here, but it's actually super thin. But I am loving this fall era. It's my favorite time of the year, temperature-wise and color-wise, and I'm just really excited about it. Halloween, not necessarily my favorite holiday, but it kind of comes with the territory, and that's okay. But otherwise, I am really excited for these seasons to change. So if you guys joined us yesterday, we were working on our Spool of the Year project, where we were working on our October block, which is a little wall hanging that we've been working on. And so we were putting together, you can see them here, our little pumpkin heads. And that's what we put together. So if you missed that, make sure you go back and check the replay on that, because these things came together so cute. Of course, they're super tiny pieces. So it's always a little nerve-wracking when you're working with such teeny tiny little pieces, but eventually they turn out to be something beautiful. And so you really just gotta bite the bullet and grit down, and eventually it will get to a point where things work out a little bit better for you. So we're going to be finishing up this project today. Let me show you guys what it's going to look like when it's done. It is so cute. So cute. I cannot wait to see what it's going to end up looking like. That is what we're going to have. So it's two of these blocks that look like candy buckets, and then some pieces of candy that go along with it. And then just a little bit of a white sashing border that goes around it. So I'm really excited for that. So we're going to get going on that here in just a minute. We're about halfway through. So we're on step 14 of 24 steps. So we're about halfway through. And I think that the rest of it is going to go pretty easily. We're going to be able to crank this out, no problem. So before we get started, let me pop into chat and say hello to everybody there in chat. Thank you again so much to everyone for joining us. The very first person in chat was Diamond Paint Carrie. Good evening, Diamond Paint Carrie. Thank you so much for being here. Good evening to you. I hope you're well. Sandra K is also here with us. Hi, Sandra. It's so great to see you also. Katie, hello. Honey, I hope you're feeling better. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. I really appreciate it. Rita is also here. Hello, Rita. I love the little monster hand when you wave. It's so cute. I absolutely love that. Naomi is here. She says, cleaning lady just left and pizza is ordered and on the way. I only hire her to clean the kitchen and bath, so I might as well keep the kitchen clean tonight. Absolutely, Naomi. Absolutely. And you know what? You deserve a day off from having to cook anyway. So pizza is a good thing for tonight. Let's see. But thank you anyway for joining us, Naomi. We appreciate you being here. Sandra says, done watching the the great grand now for dinner. Yum. That sounds like fun. Hi, Nancy. It's so great to see you. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for being here again this evening. We appreciate it. Katie's reminding everybody to hit that like button. Thanks to Katie so much for that reminder. I appreciate it. Really appreciate you reminding everybody about that. I know Streamlabs likes to remind people too. So thank you for that also. Let's see. Oh, that's me. The music was a little rough earlier tonight. I had it set to metal. I'm not sure how that happened, but somehow the metal music got on. Which, don't get me wrong, I love metal music. It's really fun, but it seemed like a bit much so for tonight. So I turned it back down and I did something a little different. So yeah, that was me. Let's see. Sandra K. Sorry, just going through chat here, making sure I don't miss anybody. Thought I saw a couple of names pop in. Sounds like Rita's trying to do a live stream. Rita, good. They're a lot of fun. I hope you like them. Good evening, Chloe. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope you're well. Happy Wednesday evening to you. I hope things are going well for you. Crystal, Rita says, here we go. That's right. That's right. Welcome, Rita. Thanks so much for being here. I love your energy. It's so great. Mary, hello. It's so great to see you again. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for being here. Patty, hello. It's so good to see you as well. Thanks. Welcome back. Rita says it's 102 here now. Oh my goodness. Like, no. That's way too hot for October. No, you can keep that. I don't want the 102. It was supposed to be a high of 66. It's 55 right now, and that's perfect. It's absolutely perfect weather for right now. Let's see, I'm just scrolling through chat real quick. It looks like I've gotten everybody. It likes to scroll on me a little bit sometimes, but it looks like I've gotten everybody. We are fixing to be hit by that Hurricane Priscilla, so going to be interesting weather for about a week starting tonight. Oh, wow. Well, hopefully you don't sustain any damage and everybody stays safe, Rita. We'll be thinking about you as it comes through. Oh, I got a text message from somebody. Oh, no, it's expected tomorrow. Okay. I have a package being delivered, and now it's expected to be here tomorrow, so that's okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with tonight's project. Well, a continuation of tonight's project, if you will. So I pulled out some of the pieces already that we were going to need. I don't know why my brain just couldn't function on that. There we go. So I pulled out some of the pieces we're going to need. We've got some more snowballs to make, I guess. So we've got these longer strip pieces here. We've got these H pieces that we need to pull. So how is everybody? I mean, I realize we just met last night, so I'm sure not a whole lot of more exciting things have happened since then, or maybe they have. Who knows? But how was everyone's evening yesterday and their day today? And anybody working on anything fun and exciting, or got any new plans for this evening or this weekend? I went to my corporate job. That's pretty much the level of my excitement today. It wasn't a bad day at my corporate job, so that's good. You know, I'm always grateful when it's not a bad day. For the most part, I love what I do and I love who I work for, and that's why I don't really have any need and or interest to do anything different. I'm not looking for my YouTube channel to take off so that I can work from home or do anything like that. That's not the goal. I do enjoy what I do. We are preparing for a move. Our building is moving to a different location. Originally, I was told it was probably going to be in December, and now I'm being told more like February, which is fine. I mean, it's totally fine. It is what it is. So that's kind of exciting. That'll be something new, and we've moved a couple of times, but the 2 times that we've moved before this, we've just kind of still stayed in the same area. It's been like a block down the road or something, where this time we're actually going to be moving to a completely different city. That's actually closer to my home. So it's going to cut my commute down in half, which is kind of nice because I have a 45-minute commute to work every day. So I'm looking forward to that. Sandra says, I'm sorry, Kiri says, I got a short in my arm. Short in your arm? I'm so sorry. Oh, it's sore in your arm, maybe? I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry to hear that. Sandra says, crossing them stitches and watching the great grand. It took 11 steps today. She took 11 steps today. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. So exciting. You know, when they're that little and everything is new to them and their world is opening up, that's just so exciting. Okay, so there we go. We went ahead and sewed up the corners of those. Let me go ahead and trim these and iron them open. I am using the seam open clapper. I don't know what the heck you call this. I know it's a clapper, but I don't know what else you call it. But like it's really kind of neat. It's for open seams. It's got a little bit of a rounded edge here, so it really helps to get those open seams flat, which I'm really liking it. So I'm hoping, so we're going to be using that again this evening. I am finding that it works better with the bigger iron than it does on a smaller one. So that's something to know, I guess. There we go. She's getting braver. I love that. Pretty soon you won't be able to keep up with her. She'll just be running off. I remember when the girls first started walking. Oh my gosh. Because, you know, one of them, it was inevitable that one would start walking before the other one, you know. But then they'd catch up pretty quick. And I just remember the one, like, walking all over the house, you know, walking to go get toys and things like that. And the other one just kind of, like, looking at her like, how the hell did you do that? So, and don't ask me which one started walking first, because I honestly don't remember. I honestly don't remember. I think I have it written down somewhere in like a baby book somewhere. But I couldn't honestly tell you off the top of my head which one started. I know they were only like a day or two apart. So it wasn't like it was a long time. But I don't know. I feel like the crawling stage was one of my favorites when the girls were little, because they were just flying through the house, crawling. Just all over the house. Oh, you're shot. Oh, now it makes more sense. Maybe I read that wrong before, Carrie. I apologize. You got a shot in your arm today. Okay, I got you now. Well, hopefully that helps. I know you've been having some struggles, and so hopefully that's gonna help you out. I'm sure today it's sore, but hopefully that'll help. I'm sorry about that. I probably read it wrong. I'm sure you said shot, and I just read it wrong. Sorry about that. But hopefully that'll help you out, and you'll be back to sewing in no time. There we go. Just going to iron this one up. But I'm really liking this this pressing tool here that I've got. I think Terry is the one that recommended it to me. She said I don't remember if she said she made her own or she bought them. I'm not sure, but either way, she recommended them to me, and I really like them. I really do. I'm trying to figure out what it's. So there's. Okay, so I need this one now. I was like, what am I doing? Okay. I got it now. I got it. I'm getting there. I'm getting it. I'm going to go ahead and flip these around. This is my presser foot while I am waiting for those to cool off a little bit. Excuse me. We have so many fun things coming up here in the next month or two on the channel. There's just so many things. Like, I'm just so excited for all of it. We've got a couple of new Block of the Month programs that we're going to be starting out, which is going to be exciting. And then we've got some... Hang on. I'm going to take X. We've got a couple of new Block of the Month programs that are going to be starting up. We've got some... we're going to be doing a little bit of a throwback. We're going to be bringing some older projects back on the channel to finish them up. Some borders and bindings and things like that. So I'm excited about those as well. Of course, we've got our Spools of the Year project. I think we're going to be finishing up. Hopefully, we're going to be finishing up our mystery project here soon and our memory bear project. And then we're just going to be starting a brand new project. I think it's in November. No, it might be in October, called Swirling Leaves. I'm really excited for that one. I've actually had that one for almost a year now, maybe even over a year. I've had that one kind of in my arsenal for a while. It was a kit that I purchased from my local quilt store. So we're going to be doing that. And then starting in November, I think. I'm going to have to look again. But I think mid-November, we're going to be starting a new quilt along. If you guys are interested in that, it's going to be a lot of fun. All you will need for that is 1 layer cake packet and 2 charm squares in a solid color. So it's a contrasting solid color fabric. So you'll need that. So maybe start, if you're interested in joining that, maybe start thinking about that. That one's, it's going to go together pretty slowly. We're going to be working on that one during the week, I think. I think it's on Thursdays. I don't know. I made up my schedule over the weekend for basically the rest of the year so that I could try and figure out, you know, like the holidays and stuff like that. So I have the majority of my schedule is pretty well laid out for the rest of the year. So that's kind of how I know about all this stuff. Well, the directions do not say which way to iron these. So I'm just going to go ahead and iron them open. Not open, but out, away from the center. And hopefully that's right. But yeah, lots of fun things coming up. I mean, there's always fun stuff here on the channel, or at least, you know, in my opinion. I'm not biased or anything. There's always fun projects coming up. But we're starting to finally get to a point where we're finishing some projects. And so we're going to start to bring in new ones again. So that's always an exciting time for me because I love starting on new projects. I kind of get a little bit bored with those projects when they take too long to finish. I kind of get a little bit bored with them, but that's okay. Okay, so 1, 2, okay, so now 3 is this one here. Now we can put this one on. So right now we're making the handle. And I am playing a little bit of a game of Bob and Chicken. I checked it just before the stream started and it looked like it was going to be okay. At least for a little bit. So yeah, we're going to be starting on swirling leaves. We're going to be bringing back a couple of older projects to put some borders on them before sending them off to the long arm. We've got some a table runner that I need to quilt up and then put a binding on. So that one's going to be coming up here soon as well. There's so many things happening right now. And then I have 2 block of the month programs that are going to be coming up as well that I'm really excited to start on. I've been telling you guys about them for a while because I signed up for them at the beginning of the year, but they'll start shipping in November. One of them is called Twisted Dream by Stitching Haven. I've never purchased anything from Stitching Haven before. I've never signed up for any of their kits or anything else. So I'll be interested to see how that goes. And then the second one is called Blackberry Bramble by Honeybee Fabrics. I've seen it's not by Honeybee Fabrics. I think it's by well, I'm not sure who it's by, but I know I'm purchasing it through Honeybee Fabrics. I have seen it on some other websites as well. So that one's going to be a lot of fun as well. I'm excited for both of those to ship here soon. Hi, Fern. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. She says, late again. Don't worry about it. You're not late. It's just like the favorite line that I have in the Princess Diaries movie. It says, the queen is never late. Everyone else is simply early. It's one of my favorite lines. I use it all the time. Every time I'm running late to something or somebody else says they're late, I always repeat that line because I think it's one of my favorites. All right, so I've got the handles done now. You can kind of see those here. See those? So the handles, aren't they adorable? They're so cute. Okay, and so we're going to attach the handles now to our pumpkins, and we just need to make sure that we're using the correct coordinating fabric. Oh, no, we have to add the jade fabrics. I have not done yet. Haha, just kidding. I have to add these on there. Haha, just kidding. before my sewing space gets taken over by alphabetties and clips. I'm going to put them all away. I am so glad that I made extra alphabetties when I did, because I have needed them so much with these projects. Like this one here had 27 different pieces that had to be cut. Like, what? I went through the entire alphabet and then had to start on numbers. So I was really grateful that I had those extra alphabetties that I had made. And for those of you who are new to the channel, it was a recommendation by one of our subscribers to make your own alphabetties using shrinky dinks, which is basically like a thin plastic that you heat in the oven and it shrinks. And it was absolutely game changer. Like it was so nice, because then I could make a whole bunch of them for myself, and it's, I think I spent like $12 on like 8 or 9 sheets of the shrinky dinks, and I was able to get 4 or 5 full sets of alphabetties from that. So definitely worth the money and the time, for sure. Yes, Fern, I agree with you. It's going to be adorable when it comes together. These are super cute. Like the pieces are really tiny. And I think I mentioned it yesterday that if these darn projects weren't so adorable, I probably would have canceled this thing, because it's just, the pieces are so tiny to work with. It's a little intimidating for me, because I'm not used to working with such tiny fabrics, such tiny cuts. But I'm glad I stuck it out, because I think it's going to go together really nicely. Or they have been going together really nicely. Oh, I ran out of fabric. I ran out of thread. I knew it was going to happen. Yep, I did. This is how much I ended up with on my bobbin. That's how much I had. Let me go ahead and flip that out. I knew I was going to run out. I just wasn't sure when. There, I have some extras that I had wound up for when we did our jelly roll race. I wound up a bunch of extras, so Fern, did I buy the display stand to go with it? Yes, I did buy the display stand to go with it. I did. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I did buy it, and I am actually using it in my office right now. It's delicate. It doesn't really stay together very well. Like it sits okay and it looks nice, but you don't want to move it because it falls apart the second you move it. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a super high quality. If you know somebody, or you have maybe a handy husband or something that could make you one out of like PVC pipes and maybe dowel rods or something, that would probably be a better option for you. And of course you don't have to use, like, these are wall hangings and they've got these little like sleeves that you can put on the back. You don't have to do that. Like, you can do whatever you want with it. You can just use some clips or something. But I did buy the wall hanging, the stand. So it's one of those where it's got the feet on it, but you can also use it to hang on the wall. And that's why I bought it, is because I actually wanted to hang it on the wall. Right now I'm using it as a display piece in my office. And then when the project is over and we're done with all the months, I'm going to bring it back home and I'm going to hang it on the wall back here. So then that way I can change them out every month that way. But I did buy it. It was an investment for sure. This whole project has been a little bit of an investment, if I'm being honest. It's a little on the pricey side per month, but it's just so super cute. It's super cute, and the way I kind of justified it was that it's going to give me a year's worth of decorations that I can continue to use over and over and over again, is the way I justified it. Now, I understand that not everybody can afford that, and I get that. I understand that, and I sympathize with that. This one didn't even sew up. But that's how I was able to justify the purchase, because I'm going to be able to use it as a decorative piece here in our studio for years and years to come. So. But it's been a lot of fun so far. I'm enjoying it. But it is not a pre-cut kit. You do have to cut all the fabrics pieces, which are super teeny tiny. And you do have to sew the whole thing up together. They do give you extra fabric. They don't give you a lot of extra fabric like we've seen on our Norfolk project. My gosh, the amount of extra fabric on that one is just crazy. We don't see that much extra fabric, but there is a little bit of extra. Just some small cut pieces. Okay, now the handle is done. So I can actually attach this one to this one here. Let's go ahead and do that. Why is it so big? What did I do wrong? Hang on here, guys. Why is G so big? Did I not trim it right? 1 inch by 3 inch. Oh, you know what? I didn't, yeah, these pieces are too big. I didn't trim it. So let me just trim these real quick. That explains so much. Apparently I didn't trim these when I cut them, so 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now it should fit. I hope. Otherwise we're in big trouble. Otherwise I'm sewing it back together. Actually, it should be fine now. Yeah, now it works. Okay, cool. I was like, why is it so big? I forgot to do a final trim when I was cutting the pieces. They're only supposed to be 1 inch wide, not 1.5 inches wide. So I must have had the 1.5 inches for some other cut and didn't get them trimmed up. So no big deal. Hi Sean, good evening. Welcome to the channel. It's so great to see you. I hope you're well. If you guys are not already a subscriber of Sean's channel, make sure you go check out his channel, The Guy Who Sews. He does so many fun things over there. There's so many fun things. And he always has some amazing guests on his channel, myself included. Alright, let's get this handle put on this pumpkin bucket. I'll show you guys what it looks like, and then we're going to start making the candy pieces. I'm blushing now. Well, it's true. You're an amazing person, and you have a really fun, amazing channel. I have so much fun watching you and hanging out with you. You have such amazing guests. You really do a great job of sharing the spotlight with others, and I think that's fantastic. So if you guys are not already, make sure you go over and subscribe to Sean. And Katie, too. Katie's channel is also amazing. I consider her a close friend. Right, so let's just get this one ironed up now. And then our buckets are done for right now. I'll show you guys what those look like. I'm sure you guys can see them as I'm ironing them up here, but I'll hold them up for you. They're so cute. They're so cute. Yeah, Sean, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so there you go. There is our little candy bucket. Isn't it adorable? Awesome. Adorable. So let's go ahead and set those over there for now. So now we're going to be putting our candy pieces together, which they're going to go together pretty quickly. They're pretty easy to do. So we've got this S here. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, it is adorable. It's so cute. 2, 3, 4. So just for scale, these little pieces I'm working with are 1 inch by 1 inch pieces. So there you guys go. That's for scale for how small some of these pieces are that we're working with on this project. But it's really it is worth it. It just takes a little bit to kind of get used to it. Alright, so this one goes up into this corner. I need to make all 4. Okay. Just wanted to double check and make sure. So then this one goes up into this corner. We're making 4 of these. I have to be honest and say I have not been over to Cotton Cuts stuff in a while because I've just had so many other things going on. If I was following the posts correctly, I believe they're getting ready to start signups for another PMQ, or they're getting ready to mail one, or whatever. But if you guys are interested in that, I still encourage people to participate over there on that. That is one of the greatest projects for beginners, and we have tested that out. Being our moderator, Lucas made a full-size quilt for his very first sewing and quilting project through Cotton Cuts. My mom and my aunts have made some projects, and you know they've sewn before but never quilted before, so they had a blast to it. It's a really great program. I think the folks over there do an amazing job. I didn't grab enough pieces. So make sure if you guys are interested in that, go check that out at cottoncuts.com. I'm not sponsored. I'm not affiliated. I just think that they have a great product. I wish that I had not have signed up for so many things already so I could join one, but my budget and my time do not allow for anything right now for a little while. And so I'm having to bow out of a few of their projects recently because of just the amount of stuff I've got going on. Kicks the bot. You better be careful. That bot will bite back. Gotta be careful with that. Gotta hug it. Apparently one of my neighbors has decided they need to have their radio up really loud. Sorry if you could hear that. It's one of the other reasons I'm looking forward to winter. My neighborhood has a tendency to quiet down a little bit in the winter. Alright, let's get this other one on here. Then we're going to trim these to a 1/4 inch seam and press them open. Someone says, next event is the pattern reveal for Flyaway in early November. I think everyone is going to love it. Awesome. Yeah, if you guys are interested in Cotton Cuts, Sean can definitely help you out. I believe he's an ambassador for Cotton Cuts, so he can help you out if you guys are running into trouble with things or having questions about the product or things like that. He's an ambassador for them. He's doing a great job. They're really a great company and it's a great program. I am just kind of at my max with regards to projects I'm working on right now. So I've had to bow out of a few of them. I'm sure I will get back to them. eventually. Mama Joyce is still doing flyaway in her own time. She's been working. Her and my aunt have been doing flyaway. And I think she also, Mama Joyce also signed up for some 5.0. Is it like a Lulu, Honolulu? I'm not sure. something 5.0 she signed up for. I have to be completely honest and say I have not been following Cotton Cut stuff all that much just because I don't want to be tempted. I'm scared that if I watch it, I'm going to get hooked into it and buy something that I really don't have time for or money for right now. So I have not been following it all of that as much as I should. I know my aunt watches them every Thursday. Their live streams every Thursday. I know she watches them, so I should probably ask her. She would probably know the answers. All right. Budget and time reasons. Yep, that's exactly it. Yeah, and I've kind of stretched myself a little bit thin this year with all the projects that I've gotten involved in. So I have to be a little bit careful. And all of the projects that I'm going to have going to the long arm over the next few months. My goodness, there's so many of them as well. So I have to be conscious of that too. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with them because I don't really have anybody to give them to. I mean, I have people I could give them to, but like I've given away a lot already. So I'm seriously considering selling some of them. I did create an Etsy shop for myself forever ago. Just to kind of have it. And so I might actually consider selling a few of them. Just to kind of put some funds back into the project budget. So we can make some more things. I am loving this little ironing tool. I don't know what you call it, but it helps with open seams because it's rounded, so it kind of forces the fabric, around the edge. So it's really nice. I'm really, really liking it. I bought this on Amazon. It was a pack of 3 for like $27, I want to say. So if you do a lot of open seams, especially with tiny parts, definitely something to consider. I bought the 3-pack because it was the same price as the single one. You don't really need the 3 of them because they're 3 different sizes. But yeah, it's working out really nicely. They're really laying nice and flat. Fern says no puppies. The puppies are hanging out with Mr. Wizard. They're here. I mean, I could, if you guys want to see them, I could entice them in here in just a second, I think. I could. I've got ways to do that. They're in the house, like, but I think they're just hanging out with Mr. Wizard. I don't know where the puppies are at. There's one. There's a puppy. There's a big girl. There's a big girl. Why are you limping? What happened? Are you okay? What happened? Why are you limping? Did you sleep funny? Why is the little one limping? Why are you limping? Oh, that's what I want to do. So there they are. There's the puppies for you. Addison, take it nice. Ow. Oof. Somebody's stinky. Oof. Oof. Who's stinky? Oof. My goodness. Somebody's stinky. Okay, go lay down now. No more. Doggos. Yes, the puppies. Yeah, there they are. Yeah. Somebody's stinky, though. You okay, Wiggles? Wrigley's limping and somebody's stinky. Wrigley has problems with her knees. And so every once in a while, especially when the weather starts to turn colder, she has trouble with them. So I don't think she's actually like really hurt. I think she just maybe slept on it funny or in it stiff. So I'm not too super worried about her right now. Stuck up the room. I don't know what they. Wow, what did you eat? Oh my gosh. My goodness. Okay, so while those are sitting and cooling, let's go ahead and now we need to make some pinwheels. Now these are not my favorites, but we're gonna try anyway. So let's lay these out now. So we've got that one and that one. Arthritis is no fun, no. Yeah, Sean, yeah, we have her on some, we have her on glucosamine, which usually helps for the most part, but I think that, and that's usually just like a day or two, so she's not like, I think she's just laying on that one, but if it persists for more than just like, you know, a couple of minutes or a couple hours, then yeah, we do give them the doggy aspirin. And then she takes glucosamine. We give her glucosamine for her joints because well, you guys probably can't see her in the camera, but she's bow-legged. Her front paws are like this. They're not like this, but like this. And so, we give her glucosamine for that to help with that. It's common in the small dogs to have problems with their knees. It's just very common for them. So we just be careful with her and yeah. Oh no, it definitely helps. Yeah, you can tell when she's had it and when she hasn't for sure. Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely tell when she has taken it and when she hasn't. We actually give it to all of our dogs because it doesn't hurt them. Wrigley is the only one that really needs it. But we give it to all of them because it's good for them. It's good for your joints. It's good for people too. It's good for joints and cartilage and all that stuff. So, yeah. But it's rare when you see her limping. So it's like, it's kind of different. Not sure like that. Alright, so now we need to... Oh, this says suppress everything open. So good thing I looked at the instructions. So let me go ahead and do that. But see, you just kind of rock the iron back and forth on it, and what it does is it forces the seam like over the 90 degrees. So it forces it kind of around, which really gives it a nice flat seam. Really makes it flat. So I'm really liking this. I appreciate Terry for I appreciate the recommendation from Terry for giving it to me. Oh crap. Yeah, I did something wrong here. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention and I accidentally sewed these up wrong. Oh yeah, this one's flat again. Hi baby girl, what are you doing in there? What are you doing over there? What are you doing? I gotta pull Jack out. Dang it. Everybody welcome the co-host of the show. I was not paying attention. You have to make sure that you're matching up the black fabrics. So that you have all of the same, because there's 2 different black fabrics, so you want to make sure that you have them all the same together. And I wasn't paying attention and I sewed them all up wrong. So. Oops. Good news is there's not many pieces here, so I can pull them apart pretty quick. And I sewed them all up wrong, so that's, you know, at least if I'm going to do something wrong, at least I'm consistent about it. At least if I'm going to see Nancy, hi Jack. I don't want to say we've missed you, because Lord knows we have not. But I almost went this entire project without having to pull them out. Almost. So close. But yeah, like I said, if I'm going to make a mistake, at least I'm going to be consistent about it and do it with all of them. And there aren't that many, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. I'm just worried about it because it's such a small pieces. So, okay, so this one goes with that one. That one goes with this one. That one goes there. This one goes here. This one goes here. That one goes there. That one goes there. And this one goes here. Okay. Now let's try this again. Now, I probably didn't need to pull it out. I probably could have just left it. But I didn't want to. So, let's see. That. So these 2. I probably could have just left it, but I like the idea of it being cohesive, of it being like, you know, everything matching the way it's supposed to. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. It's only 4 pieces. It didn't take but a minute to pull it apart. So it's not like our Tropics quilt where we had to pull the whole stupid thing apart like 4 or 5 times. Oh my gosh, I was never so happy for a project to be done in my life. Have you guys ever had one of those projects where it just seems like it's just cursed from the start? Like, it just is cursed. Like, it will not go together the way it's supposed to. And it wasn't a difficult pattern. That's the worst of it. Like, it really was not a difficult pattern. It was just my nemesis. I was really grateful when that was finally done and out of here. And even when I came back from the long arm and I had to put the binding on it, I was dreading putting the binding on it because I'm like, no, because something's going to go wrong. Like, the whole project has been cursed from the start. And something's going to go wrong. And I just don't want to deal with it. But I did finally, bite the bullet. Oh, I'm sorry, Fern. Slots doesn't like you. I did finally bite the bullet and say, no, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna put it together, And it did go together. It looks great. The person that I gifted to has no idea the amount of stress and crap that I went through to put it together. They just love it for what it is, and I appreciate that. So yeah, in the end it worked out, but boy did it feel like it was going to take forever for us to get there. I don't know if you guys remember, we had to pull the whole thing, like all of the blocks apart, like 3 times. 3 times to put this stupid thing together. It was so frustrating. It was just cursed. Like every single time I pulled the stupid thing out, something else. I was running out of fabric, and then I had, then I cut something up wrong, and then I was like, oh my God, I was ready for that one to be done. I was really happy when that one was done, for sure. Okay. Go. Nancy says yes, she's had a project like that. Did you finish it, Nancy, or did you just, stuff it in a box somewhere and forget about it? Or did you tough it out and finish it? There were many a times where I wanted to just stuff it in a box and forget about it. But I didn't. I stuck it out. I could not wait to get rid of it. I could not wait to give that one away. Alright, so there's our pieces. Let them cool for just a second. And then we get to do a pinwheel. Yay. The pinwheel isn't so hard. It really is not that bad. It's just, their pieces are so tiny that it's a little intimidating. So, okay, so there's top one. There's that one. So let's go ahead and match these seams up. Oh, there you go, Katie. You gotta give the bot a hug. I think if you do exclamation point hug space bot, it gives a little thing. Maybe try hugging it. Yeah, maybe try giving it a hug. Maybe it's just having a really bad day, and it just could really use a hug. Maybe, or maybe it just hates everybody. I don't know. It's hard to say. Some days. There you go. There you go. Hug the butt. You can actually use that command to hug anybody, really. See if it worked. See if I can get this one to lay flat. I don't think it's going to, but we're going to give it a go. We're going to give it a shot. I probably could have tried to pinwheel it, but because we pressed the seams open, it probably was not going to pinwheel very well. So we're just going to give it some extra heat. Give it some extra. It did? Did it work? Oh, good. I'm glad that worked. I don't know for how long it'll work, but I'm glad it worked. I'm pushing down on this to really get these seams to crush. Let's see. So, okay. That'll be good enough, I guess. It'll have to do. It's good enough. It's good enough. Alright, now we need to put some corners on here. So let me grab 4 of these. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now we're going to put some corners on here. We're going to snowball this. We're going to sew all these up here. Press your foot. You know, these projects are not super entertaining to watch because the pieces are so darn tiny, but they do come together pretty well, and they're just so cute when they're finished. They're just so darn cute when they're finished. So darn cute. So let's do the next corner now. Do the next corner. So we're snowballing this, meaning we're putting little corner pieces, square corner pieces, sewn on the diagonal all the way around the square of our white background fabric. And that's going to give it a rounded look. There we go. Cross stitching with you, keeping me company. Well, I'm glad that I can keep you company, and I appreciate you being here with me. I appreciate you keeping me company. We're keeping each other company. That's what's happening right now, and I appreciate that. All right. I'm just going around the edge here. All of a sudden I got warm in here. Turn my fan on here in just a minute. Got a little warm. Okay. Alright, so now I've sewn up these little white squares. You can see the little white squares to all the corners. And so now I'm going to trim 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to press them out after I take a sip of the drink. Yum. Come on. There we go. Oh, man. Alright, so now let's go ahead and trim these all the way around, 1/4 of an inch. Hi Terry, good evening. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for stopping in and saying hi to us. We appreciate that. Trimming up all 4 of these edges here. So now you can see I trimmed it out. And so now we're going to give it a press. I'm thinking I'm going to press everything open. Because when you've got these little corners, pressing it open seems to make it lay a little bit nicer. So let's do that. Let's get the next one then. All the seams on this little tiny piece. It'll be worth it in the end, though. Just keep reminding myself. It'll be worth it in the end. It's going to be a really cute piece. And it always fascinates me, even to this day. Like, even with as many years as I've been doing this, which hasn't been that long, but maybe like 5 or 6 years now. It always fascinates me that you can take geometric shapes, squares and triangles, and make these elaborate, detailed pieces. Like it just floors me that the fact that somebody created this, like somebody had the creative mind to say, I'm going to take some squares and some triangles and I'm going to lay them out in a way so that it creates these final designs. Like, pattern writers and creators are just, they're on a whole new level. Like, I am not a pattern creator, or I'm just not. I wish I had that kind of talent, but I just don't. I just don't have it. I'm going to give this another hard. Lay that down like that. All right, let's go ahead and trim this one up now. Excuse me. It just floors me sometimes, like especially a project like this that's really very detailed. It's very, very detailed, and the fact that somebody was able to create that, not only create this, but write out instructions in a way so that I could recreate it for on my own. It's just amazing to me sometimes. Yes, Terry, this is the same project from last night. We finished our little pumpkin buckets, candy buckets. You can see them there on the table, maybe. No, can you see them there? Okay, barely. We finished our pumpkin buckets, so that's our pumpkin buckets. There. That's our candy bucket, okay? And now we're making the candy to go into the bucket. That is what we're doing. So here's the inside of one piece of candy. I have to make that end still. Just crazy. Just crazy. And Terry, I've been telling everybody throughout the entire live stream today how really amazing this pressing tool is. I was skeptical with the last time we used it last month. I was skeptical because I didn't really feel like it was doing a whole lot. But I was also trying to use that clover iron, and it just really wasn't working for this. It really wasn't made for this type of a project. And I have found that using the bigger iron with this tool is really just making a huge difference. And it really is making these seams lay really nice and flat. So I've been recommending it to everybody. I know it's a little bit of an investment. I think it was like $27 for all three. So it's a little bit on the pricey side. But, Amazon Days is coming up, or Prime Days is coming up. So if you're a Prime member from Amazon, you might be able to find them a little bit less expensive. But they really turned out to be absolutely wonderful. I really like them. So I thank you again for making that recommendation. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's much better with the regular iron because you can roll it like I'm doing here. You can see me. I'm kind of rolling it, and that's really pushing that seam down. And then the fact that you just kind of let it sit there for a second is amazing. Yeah. Oh, today is the last day of the Prime thing. Oh yeah, thank goodness I haven't really been I don't know why it did that. There you go. I didn't realize today was the last day for the Prime thing, yeah. You have a small iron, it gets really hard. I'm talking about the clover iron. I have one of those little mini ones too. I take that with me when I go to go to my retreats and things and my classes and stuff. But I have I bought that clover iron to use on our memory bear project, and I used that this last time, thinking that might be helpful, and it really wasn't. Go. So now these are the ends of the candy pieces. We're going to be sewing those on here in just a second. Okay. We're going to sew up one. Does it matter? Let's see if it's this way. Okay. One to one side and one to the other. There's a lot of bulk here, so my machine's probably going to be a little bit of a pain. Let's see if we can make this work. Oh. once we get these candy pieces sewn up, then it's just a matter of attaching them to our buckets with some sashing, and we'll be good to go. It's exciting. We're getting there. The end is near. The end is near. Thank you, Terry, for reminding everybody to give a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider doing so for me. I really appreciate it. Alright, so there's one side done. Let's go ahead and get the other side done. And we're going to press them again. With this project this small, at least in my opinion, and you know, quilting is all about personal preference, but I am finding that pressing after every single step is really helping. Because otherwise the pieces don't lay quite the way you need them to, and because they're so small, you really need them to lay flat so that you can get them sewn up the way they need to be. There's so many seams on these parts that everything's got to lay nice and flat to get it under the machine. Go ahead and see. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's so cute. So cute. Down. I'll show this to you guys in just a second. And then we've got to add some pieces on the end of it. Which pieces do we have to add? These and these. But pressing after every single step is really helping to make sure that things lay nice and flat. I think with a project like this, you kind of have to. You kind of almost have to press after every single step to make sure that everything kind of sets the way that it's supposed to. And so you can get it all to lay nice and flat. So here's our candy piece. Isn't that cute? Little candy piece. So now we're going to put some pieces on the end of here to make it a little bit longer so that it fits with our bucket. We'll go ahead and get those sewn up. The doggies were here. I can pull them through again in just a minute. They're hanging out in the living room. I think Mr. Wizard's in there. I think they're hanging out with him tonight. Although I don't hear the TV on, so either Mr. Wizard fell asleep and is taking a nap, or they just want to hang out in the living room. I'm not sure. But yeah, I can call him in here in just a minute. Yeah, I have to agree with you too, Terry. I don't usually like, I mean, I'll do like a finger press just for a minute if it's something, you know, that I can get away with a finger press on. But I usually just press everything after each step. Even with the cotton cut stuff, I was doing that. I know not everybody likes ironing and pressing things. I get that. I understand that. But for me, you know, little ironing station, it doesn't bother me. Here they come. Here's the doggies. A couple of them at least. Wrigley, I don't think Wrigley's doing Your Bridgie's a little sore. Oh, Addison, are you sore too? What the heck? Everybody's laying weird? Oh. There's Ivy. There's Ivy. Can you see her? Oh, you can't even see her because the doggy can. Come over here. Come over here. Oh, that's too close. Here. Over here. Over here. Up. I can't see you. I can't see you. Well, everybody came in so they can have a treat. Oh my, I can see this. My camera is set up at a weird angle today because I've not had the opportunity to set it up where I want to. And because I have not had that opportunity, the mount that it's usually on is over here. Over there. So that's why it's a little weird today. Addison's tail wagging. Yeah. And there goes Addie. Ricky's limping a little bit. He's got something is a little sore. That's okay. I'll keep an eye on her. Sometimes you know they bend funny or they jump down. Wrigley especially. Sometimes she jumps down when she really shouldn't be jumping, and she's hurt herself a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on her for a day or two. I'm sure she'll be fine by tomorrow. Great. There's that one. This one now. Wrigley wiggle. Yeah, she wiggles. That's what we call her, Wiggles, because she does. She wiggles. Hi, Patty. Good evening. I don't remember seeing you pop in, so good evening. Hello, how are you? I hope you're well. With the peanut butter taffy. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yum, peanut butter taffy. That sounds good. Okay. So now we need to add another piece here. These can go put away. Yes, she does. She does look a lot like Wrigley. Your little miss. She does look a lot like Wrigley. Yes, she does. Alright, so now we're going to add some sashing pieces to the top and the bottom of this. Yes, Addison. Yep. My husband is a Chicago Cubs fan. Go Cubs. Yay. And so it started with Addison. He kind of snuck that one in on me. I like the name. I didn't realize what we were doing with it. And then we got Wrigley, and we were going to name her Wrigley. We had already picked out the name Wrigley. We were going to name her Wrigley. And while we were at the breeder picking her out, the breeder actually said, "Oh, does that mean that this one is Ivy? Like Addison and Ivy?" And we're like, "Oh, we like that name." And so Ivy's name was picked out 4 years before we got her. It was just a matter of finding the dog to fit the name. So that was kind of neat. So when we went to go get Ivy, we already knew what the dog's name was going to be before we even knew which dog we were getting. So. But for those of you who are not familiar, the Chicago Cubs is a baseball team. They play at Wrigley Field, which is on the corner of Clark and Addison. And they are famous for their green ivy wall. That's how their names came about. For those of you who are not sports fans, I am not a sports fan myself, but I do know about the Cubs. Mr. Wizard would probably kill me if I didn't, because he is a very big Cubs fan. He is not what we would consider a crazy Cubs fan, but he is definitely a Cubs fan. And they are currently playing in the, well, I don't know if they won the game tonight, but they are currently playing in the finals for the World Series. So, it's exciting. So I get to listen to that for the next few days. After ball players, yeah. Yes, picked out 2 dogs' names for the future, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's not usually something I would do, but it just kind of worked out the way it did, and so that's kind of what happened. And we will eventually get a Clark. We keep saying we're going to get a Clark. We will probably eventually get one, and it will probably be a Yorkie. Or Clark will probably be a Yorkie. We'll see. Alright, so I'm just finishing up the sashing pieces around our piece of candy here. Go ahead and press those down. And then we're going to get this thing put together. Hi! What you doing? Oh, Daddy came in the house now, so now you can spend time with Mama? Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear her Daddy came in the house. Yeah. I hear him. Turn the TV on. I hear him. Child was Broadway. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool name. Broadway. My family likes to pick odd names for dogs. Like, we don't have traditional names for dogs, typically. Patty says, I named my dog after the Grinch's dog, Max. We had a Max, yeah. We called him Maxi Pad. Great-granddaughter calls him Maxi Pad also. Wait till she gets old enough to know what that is. That's funny. That's funny. My mom had a Max. She had a beagle named Max. We called him Maximilian. So my grandma, let me tell you a quick story while this is cooling. My grandma had a dog. My grandma had dogs all of my life, and most of hers too. She had a Pekingese. She'd gotten a Pekingese. This was probably 100 years ago now, but she'd gotten a Pekingese and she named it Tammy. 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 Really cute name. Little brown thing, really cute. Well, it was cute, but Pekingeses, they're an acquired taste. Like, you either love them or you hate them. And so my mom and her 2 sisters were younger. They were living at home with my grandma, and they didn't appreciate the cuteness of the Pekingese. And so when my grandma wasn't around, they would call the dog ugly, which isn't very nice, but kids can be cruel, right? So they would call the dog ugly. Well, fast forward a couple of weeks, my grandma takes the dog to the vet to get the vet checked out, and they want to check out the dog's hearing. Well, at that time it was just do they answer to their name? So she put the dog on one end of the room, and she says, "Come here, Tammy. Come here, Tammy," and the dog wouldn't listen to her at all. And so now the vet's thinking the dog's deaf, right? The dog's deaf. He can't hear. She can't hear. All this other stuff, right? My grandma goes, "Come here, ugly." And sure enough, the dog turned around and ran up to her and started licking her. So from that day forward, the dog's official name was Ugly. Now imagine, if you will, for just a moment, that my grandmother lets the dog out to run out in the yard because she had a fenced-in yard, so she just lets the dog run out in the yard, and the dog starts barking. So she opens up the door and she yells at the dog, "Come, Ugly. Ugly, come here." That's what she yells. She yells, "Ugly, come here," or "Ugly, be quiet." Just as a jogger, which was the reason the dog was barking, is running along the road and stops now because he thinks that my grandmother has called him ugly. She would tell you that story every time she talked to you. So yeah, it was fun. My grandpa has a dog named Dog. Yep. Dog. That's the name of the dog. It's just Dog. And it's like, okay. All right, so here's our candy pieces. You guys can see them on the camera now. So we're going to go ahead and attach those. We need to attach one to the top and one to the bottom of our pumpkins. It doesn't really matter which way we go. So I'm just going to grab at random. And I think, let me check this again. Yep, that's what I thought. They need to be opposite. So, oh, that would have been bad. I'm glad there was no dog there. So this one goes on the bottom of this one. That's okay, I have 2 more if I really need them. Grab this one. So yeah, that's a funny story about my grandma who owned a dog named Ugly. She also owned a dog named Trouble. She had one named Peppy. She had one named Pudgy. You know, we don't typically use traditional names for dogs. We get Ginger. Ginger was a collie. She was my dog when I was growing up. We had a dog here in our home when the girls were little. She was a rescue. Her name was Bubbles. Super sweet dog. I miss her all the time. Okay. Go ahead and grab that. So there's one. So yeah, we have some funny Rex Luigi. Oh, that's fun. That's really fun. Hi, baby. I know, mommy dropped that. You want to pick it up and hand it to me? That would be really helpful. No? You just gonna stand there and stare at it? Okay. That's not as helpful. But thanks. Heatha, Bianca, and Dora. Oh my goodness, because I'm extra. That's a lot of words. That's a lot of words, Terry. So, okay. Let me grab an A fabric, which is this one here. Right? No, I need a B. I don't need the A, I need the B. B. Keitha, like Heather. Oh, okay. Very cool. Alright, so now this one's going to be attached to this side of this one. Very cool. So now all we're doing is we're putting sashing in between these two blocks and then along the outside, and then we are all done. So let's go ahead and do that. So one nice thing about sashing between your blocks is it really cleans up those edges for you. The edges are a little bit wonky, that's okay, because the sashing is going to hide it. So it's nice. His damn dog. That's awesome. My uncle had Boots and Gina. I want to say that he had one named Sergeant, too. Let's see, he had the name Sergeant. I could be wrong on that, though. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but honestly, he had Sergeant. My aunt had one named Nugget. Yeah, she had a dog named Nugget. It was so cute. I don't remember what kind of dog that was. It's like so much. I guess it's just kind of extra. Yeah, she had a dog named Nugget. And now she has one named Blondie. And Emma. She's had one named Brandy. Maggie. We've had a lot of fun with dog names. My mom had a Max and a Charlie. And then Lucy, Molly, Mindy. I had a Mindy growing up from like Mork and Mindy. That was my favorite show when I was a kid. My mom had this one friend that would come by, this gentleman it's just a friend of hers, but he would come by and he would tease me all the time that the dog's name was Mork instead of Mindy. Because I was a little kid and he thought it was fun to tease me about it. It was all in good fun. Since like he didn't hurt by it, but he used to call the dog Mork on purpose just to annoy me. And I was like 5 or 6, so it was little. Alright, so now we've got that sashing piece in there. Let me show you what we got going on now. Cute, right? Now we're going to get the outside sashing pieces on. We need 2 side pieces. Mork. Yes, Mork. Now, that was my favorite cartoon not cartoon, it's not a cartoon, it's my favorite show when I was a kid. Mork and Mindy. For those of you not familiar with it, it was a show a long time ago. It was in the 80s with Robin Williams. He kind of first made his debut onto the scene as a comedian. '80s or '90s? Probably '80s. Because I was little, so it would have been the '80s. I think they were supposed to be like aliens or something, weren't they? It's been a hot minute since I've seen it. You can probably see some of the replays or skits on YouTube somewhere. Yeah, I did too. I did too, absolutely. I loved Robin Williams. I thought he was amazing. So extremely talented. Such a sad tale that, it just goes to show you that, mental health is a real thing, and even people who look happy all the time may not be. Mork from Ork. He was an alien. Gotcha. Yeah, in the 80s. Okay, yeah. Pam Dabber, I think, was Mindy. Okay. I apologize. I don't know that name. But, yeah. I'm sure my mom knows more about it. It was like, it was one of those things where I was little, so I said it was my favorite show, but I really don't actually remember it because I was so little. But that's who we named our dog after. Mindy. Mindy was an alcoholic dog. Well, she was kind of that way because of my dad, but she was an alcoholic dog. She would wait until either my dad came over or my mom's friend came by, and then she would go over to her water dish and she would tip her water dish and drop it at their feet so that they would give her some beer. She was an alcoholic. So funny. So funny. Every time we'd have a party, there ended up with a puddle of water in the kitchen from Pam, okay. There ended up being a puddle of water in the kitchen from the dog spilling her water dish because she wanted beer from somebody. My dad would give it to her too. He'd pour her a little bit there in her bowl, and of course we don't do things like that anymore, but back then it was, it was okay. I don't know if that was really okay, but it was accepted, I guess. Really a better word for it. So, all right. So now let's put the bottom and top sashings on, and then we are all done with this thing. And it is coming out to be so cute, so very cute. So now I'm going to go ahead, and I have not been doing it since now, but I'm going to go ahead and use my back stitching on these sashing pieces just to kind of lock everything in place. I don't normally back tack when I'm putting my pieces together for piecing like this. I know some people say you should, and I very rarely ever do, unless I'm doing like at the end of a sashing row or a piece, an end of a row that I know might come apart while I'm working with it when I'm quilting it or things like that. Otherwise, I don't bother. It just means more stitches for me to have to pull out later when I have to bring Jack out. Because it's inevitable. I usually end up having to bring Jack out at some point. So. All these little bitty seams are getting caught underneath my machine, my presser foot, so I gotta keep lifting it up and bringing it back down, which is fine. I just have to. Crack, yeah. Crack the cap off a bottle of rum and got himself drunk. Oh, wow. That is an alcoholic dog. Yeah, that's for sure. That's funny. Maybe he just liked the taste of beer. She much preferred that over water. So if she knew either my mom's friend was coming by or my dad was coming by to visit for a little while, she would just dump the bowl. All right, last piece. Last piece. Either my cutting was a little off or these pieces went a little askew, which is fine. I mean, I'm going to end up trimming it off anyway when I quilt it and bind it. I can show you guys the fabric that they've chosen for us for the backing and the binding. I love the binding fabric. It's really pretty. I'll show you guys that in just a minute. This will likely be something that I'll work on Saturday when I'm in here. Quilting this up real quick and binding it up. And then it'll go off to my office to be displayed in my office until next month. And I will bring the September one back home. Living the life, that's for sure. Yeah. Mr. Wizard tells me all the time that, you know, if there is an afterlife, then he wants to come back as a Korean dog because they get spoiled. Have you ever watched any of those YouTube videos of the Korean dogs, like the dog trimming, the dog grooming for the Korean dogs, where they have these really cute haircuts and they're like getting massages? Like I want to be one of those. Like, okay. Alrighty, friends, here we go. I mean, you can always already kind of see it, but look at that. Isn't that adorable? So cute. It's a labor of love. Like, there's so many teeny tiny little pieces, but it really turns out to be pretty special. So cute. So cute. So let me show you guys really quickly the backing fabric and the binding fabric that they have chosen to coordinate to go with this. So here is the backing fabric. It's this black star fabric. That's the backing. And then here is the binding fabric. Well, you can kind of see it through the back. I love that binding fabric. It's like the plaid, orange and black plaid. I love it. I'm really excited for it. So this is a wall hanging sleeve and the binding. I just love it. I think it's going to look great. After the Jack was created when unsupervised. Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, you can bite through a bottle. There you go. You guys can see that? Oh, this one. Trying to put it somewhere you guys can see it. There we go. I'll just move these out of the way. There we go. There we go. That's better. There we go. Ta-da. Anyway, do you see Nancy's thimbles? Do I see them? Why? What am I missing? You know, Nancy won 4,000 thimbles. What am I missing? Is there something wrong with them, or does she just have a crazy amount of them? Oh, she's number 2. Oh, I missed that. Holy smokes. Oh, Lucas is going to be so pissed. Well, you know what? You snooze, you lose, right? Like, you snooze, you lose. That is awesome. Congrats, Nancy, on stealing that second place from Lucas. My goodness. That's really awesome. Congrats on that. And Sandra K is coming up. She's got quite a few. Wow, and she's always redeeming them, too. So she's got to have even more than that. So that's great. Patty's in there, too. Joyce, Teresa, wow. Judy, Carrie Lynn is in there. So is Kathy. Wow, you guys are awesome. She's in the number 2 position. Yeah, that's fun. Oh, Lucas is going to be so mad. But, you know, he's missed quite a few live streams. So he's pretty far behind. But, you know, they've been busy. He said that when I talked to him for the weekend, I think he said that he's actually had to be called in quite a few times the last couple of weeks. And so he really hasn't had a whole lot of downtime. And so things have been a little crazy over there. So, which is sad because, you know, he works in the crime lab. So that means that if he's getting called in, that means there's a lot of crime. And, you know, you never want to hear that. So. All right, friends. Well, that is it for this evening. I have threads all over me. Ivy is currently sitting just off the camera. You guys can see her a little bit. But that is it for this evening. A different place in life. Oh, yeah, for Terry, for sure. And I have always told him from day one that, you know, life comes first. You know, the channel comes second. And that's even for me, too. Life comes first, channel comes second. I mean, you know, yeah, don't get me wrong. That channel is producing a little bit of I won't even say profit because it's not, but a little bit of money to go towards projects and things like that. But it's not a lifeline. It's not like I'm relying on this for, you know, to live on. So, you know, life comes first. You're going to enjoy it while you can. Yeah, Nancy, I would too, for sure, yeah. But anyway, folks, thanks again so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you hanging out with us again this evening. If you didn't catch the first part of this project, the replay is available on our channel. You can go back over there and look. I think I even created a playlist for this series, because I try to create playlists for each of our series so that you guys can keep up with them. So you guys can go back and catch the part 1 of this so you can see how these pumpkin heads kind of came together and all the teeny tiny little pieces that went along with them. But yeah, so I will probably put this together over the weekend and then quilt it, bind it up, and then bring it into work and display it in my office at work for a little while until our November one. So I'm really liking this project. I know I complain about the tiny pieces every single time they come in because it's just not something I'm used to, but they do really make some amazing projects if you have the time and the patience and the willpower to go through the little pieces. So it's definitely worth it, and I have a lot of fun with it. So. Yeah, for a fun night, of course. Yeah, for sure. So all right, friends, well, have a great evening. I will see you again on Sunday. I think we're working on our puppies project on Sunday. Forgive me, I do not remember. My calendar is so tiny. I really need to make it bigger so that I can see it from here. But I think we're working on our puppies project on Sunday. And then members, just a reminder, we do have a members-only live stream on next Monday. I'll probably remind you guys again about that on Sunday. But that will be just a whip and UFO project. We're not. We have finished our project that we were working on, our quilt along that we were working on, and so now we're just gonna hang out. We're just gonna do some whips and UFOs and hang out. Maybe do some cross stitching. Probably not this weekend. this week, but maybe next week. So I've got a table runner that I need to start quilting, so I'm probably going to be doing that. I really need to get that done because that's our Halloween. No, I'm sorry, our Thanksgiving table runner from Cot Cuts. I really need to get that quilted up so that I can get that on display in my office before November. So, all right, friends, have a great evening, a great rest of your week, and I will see you all again on Sunday. Bye for now.
Rockin' to the beat.
With our hands in the air, we'll be high up flying. Take a breath and we can let it out. Yeah, we'll never go back down. This is you, this is me, this is what we're made of. We won't have to make